Hey everyone, today I'm here to talk about something that's not going to be fun to talk about by any means. However, it's a video that I've been wanting to make for a very long time and I just haven't been able to. So let's start off on a positive note. Before we get into this video, mom and dad are currently in Mexico. They are enjoying their time, and tomorrow is mom's 60th birthday. So yeah, they're having an amazing time. I spoke to them this morning, so that's great. So happy for them that they're enjoying Mexico, a new spot. They're loving the resort and such. Okay, so let's talk about this. 5 years ago today, baby Talia, my niece, Matthew's daughter, passed away. November 12th, 2019. It is absolutely insane that 5 years just flew by. And I know that Matthew and I posted a video after it happened, briefly talking about the situation. However, at the time, we could not go into detail about it. I will just say that because there was an open investigation going on. A police investigation. So now that it's been 5 years and the investigation has been, I guess, concluded and the court system is completed, we can kind of openly talk about it a little bit more. And I feel like it doesn't do Talia justice if we never actually talk about what happened that night. So we'll just start off from the top and go through it, and I'll try and get through this video without crying. But basically that night, Matthew was at work and his ex-wife at the time called and said, you need to basically come right now. Didn't say what was wrong on the phone. And so Matthew called us because at the time they were already going through their court system and it was kind of like a nasty separation in the first place. His ex-wife is not a very nice person. I'll just kind of put that out there. But he was concerned about what this could be. However, the girls, Sophia and Talia, were with her at that time. So he was quite concerned. So he called us, and on the way to there, once he got to his ex-wife's parents' place where she was living at the time, there was a ton of fire trucks and police, I believe an ambulance, and of course, you know, we all start kind of freaking out. So basically, I think she came up to Matthew's car at the time and just blurted it right out and said that Talia was dead. Of course, we're all on the phone hearing this and don't know how to process this, and like, we're not there, so we can't comfort Matthew and like talk him through this and whatever. But basically, while we were on the phone, we could hear his ex-wife talking, and she said that she found Talia in her crib with a blanket over her head. At that point, we were just completely thrown back. So we'll touch on what actually happened that night. Was discussed after that night. Obviously, there was a police investigation. I think normally in this instance, there wouldn't necessarily be a police investigation. However, there was things that just weren't adding up. And so the first thing was that how the Matthew's ex-wife explained her finding of Talia passed away. So she went into her room, found her with the blanket over her head. She was not breathing. She then took Talia, ran across the road to a neighbor's house, and then they called 911. By the time that emergency services showed up, and this is the kicker part, where we were just like, this isn't adding up, rigor mortis had already set in. I don't believe they tried performing CPR at that point because they knew there was no coming back. And if any of you know anything about death, rigor mortis does take time to set in. So baby Talia was laying there for quite some time, breathless. So at this point, we're still like confused. Mom and dad end up driving there. It's like a 40-minute drive to meet Matthew, to comfort him. And from what I understand, even at that point, Mom, Dad, Matthew had to walk into a neighbor's home and see baby Talia laying on the ground on the living room floor. At the time, the house reeked of marijuana, and at the time, marijuana was not legal in Ontario. So again, red flag. Fast forward to, you know, there's a police investigation, CAS is called, blah, blah, blah. Matthew took it upon himself to meet with his ex-wife at a coffee shop to kind of discuss, I guess, funeral arrangements and that type of thing. During this meeting that they had, his ex-wife proceeded to tell Matthew that she left baby Talia alone in her crib at her parents' house for 45 minutes to go pick up Sophia from daycare. Instantly, obviously, Matthew knew that's neglect. You didn't do your job as a parent. You could have saved baby Talia. This may have never happened had you been home or just taken baby Talia with you like any parent would. That's not even being a good parent. That's just being a parent, is to make sure your baby is with you and not alone. That night, as soon as he got home, we called the police department who was dealing with it at the time, and they were very rude. They basically told us, well, yeah, she told us that, like, don't worry about it, blah, blah, blah. And we're just like, what do you mean you knew? Or, like, how does she admit something so crazy as neglect and she's just, there's no repercussions? Because at the time, she had main custody of Sophia, and I believe Matthew was able to see her either every other weekend or every weekend at that point, I can't remember. And that's what they were in the court system for, was to try and figure out custody and that type of thing. At that point, we raised so many questions about how she could still have Sophia under her care, and CAS was involved, and there was an Ontario children's lawyer appointed to Sophia. And when I tell you guys that we fought the court system for at least 2 years on this situation, and the court system failed baby Talia. Even the Ontario children's lawyer that was appointed to Sophia had questions, basically stated that she was an unfit mother, that she should have visitation rights with supervision, all these things that would seem just common sense. However, time and time again, the court system, the judge sided with her. And when she was asked about baby Talia, she said that she would never do it again. Well, duh. Baby Talia is no longer here. She couldn't do it again. You already failed as a parent. So it's been a few years since we've been in the thick of it, really. And we've all come to terms with what happened, and we know the truth, and we feel like it's injustice to baby Talia to allow people to believe that it was just SIDS, because that's what the autopsy came back as, was SIDS. Even the coroner was very hard to get a hold of, had a hard time communicating with us, and there was a big issue with when Baby Talia, because it took time for the coroner to do his investigation, his autopsy. By that time that she was actually going to be buried, her mother wanted her to be cremated, which is completely against actually her religion. And again, red flag. What is it that you're hiding? What do you need to hide? And so Matthew fought and fought and fought. We had to put a cease and desist on Baby Talia's burial. They had talked about basically stealing her body and going and doing it without us and not being a part of it, and yada yada yada. Matthew was in fights with her over who was gonna pay, and Matthew basically said, I'm going to pay for everything. Everything that it comes to with Baby Talia's funeral, I will cover. And they were nitpicking about transportation to the funeral for Matthew to pay that for her family. Matthew basically laid it on the line, like, I'm going to pay for everything, but I'm going to be in control of everything. And so that's basically what happened. And now 5 years later, about 2 months ago, we are able to finally honor Baby Talia with a beautiful headstone that Matthew purchased and the mother had nothing to do with. It's beautiful, and I actually haven't even seen it yet. I've seen pictures, so I will insert a picture of it now, but I think it's absolutely beautiful and such a way to honor her. And of course she's got her cousin right there with her. But yeah, it was a long road. Thankfully the court system finally allowed Matthew 50-50 custody of Sophia, as much as we were fighting for full custody and with a bunch of clauses in place to keep Sophia safe. Even the court system has even failed Sophia in that way. And I won't go into detail about that because obviously Sophia is live and well, and this, you know, this could affect her in the future. But this was mainly about Baby Talia and fighting for her justice. So yeah, we feel very failed by the court system, as you can imagine, losing a child at 7 months with the mother admitting everything. It still wasn't enough to get Baby Talia justice. And it's so, so sad. Anyways, I did wanted to pull this out. This is the one thing that I have from Baby Talia. It's filthy because she was starting to eat when she was wearing it, but her little Our Lives, Our Reasons, Our Sanity onesie, again, like, it's so filthy. But yeah, so this video is for Baby Talia, and it's crazy to think because she was so full of life and she was just learning to crawl and get so strong and be at that fun age. And I know she would have been my little sidekick by now. She had very prominent genes from our side of the family, and I have a feeling, like, I had a feeling that she was gonna grow up looking like our side of the family. She was just a beautiful little baby, but we try and believe that she was here on this earth for a short period of time to teach us something, and that she was only meant to be here for this long. 3 months later, baby girl's passed away and they're together. So again, this is just to honor Baby Talia and to mark 5 years of her passing, which is absolutely insane. I can't even say if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, because that just doesn't feel right. So I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and we'll see you next time. Bye guys.
This is Baby Talia.
because you oh, it matters.
Oh.
Want me to take her?
No, don't take her.
Don't take her.
Cheater!